Well, this is the inner sanctum. This is where we this is where we keep all of the cars that aren't on display. It's where we have our reserve
an
collection.
Early BMW.
And, yeah, you're right.
BMW was an Austin licensee.
Exactly. They did it in America too.
Yeah.
This Delahaye is a Type 175 that actually belonged to a Maharaja and then Elton John later on.
Yeah, but this is post-war.
This is post-war.
Yeah,
This is 1948.
you can tell by the body.
A couple of Bugattis. That was a Shah's Bugatti, a Shah Moran that was given to the Shah when he got married in 1939 by the French government.
Before he left town. This is lovely.
This is lovely. This is the old Yeller Mark III. It was built by Max Wachowski in 1959.
All right. My dad in 1939 owned exactly this car.
Did he really?
A 1939 Mercury convertible in absolutely that color, sort of pinkish gray.
No kidding.
With the same top, with the same piping. Yeah.
And I'll bet that's what you would have done to it.
No, not. He only kept it a year, and then he bought a 41 Chrysler convertible, New Yorker convertible.
Well, we have the stock and the custom so people can see.
This is bad.
This was done for a Frank Sinatra movie.
Oh, Jesus, it's bad.
Raymond Loewy Studebaker, Jaguar XKSS.
An XKSS.
This is the Steve McQueen car. One of only 16 built.
Yeah, before the factory burned down.
Exactly, before the factory burned down. This is our kind of our outer area where we keep our second-tier cars. We're going to go back in and look at the inner sanctum, the other half.
Okay. Well, you could spend days down here.
You could, and we do.
Yeah. Good grief! What a way to spend time.
Awful lot going on.
You could just wander around here forever.
Awful lot going on.
You're right. This is too good to miss. Okay, well,
we tell a pretty comprehensive story. We have everything. We have 3 wheels of every different configuration, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 1 on the side.
A Muntz jet. Muntz jet.
That was one of the Illinois built cars.
It.
Fiat Chalette, one of the beach cars, 69 Volkswagen. Chrysler Lugano.
Can I just interject here for a minute?
Yeah.
I think he needs to tell you about that, not you tell him about
I'd love to hear everything you know about this car. I'm told it's a Lugano. It's a clay mock-up of something that I heard was intended to be the kind of a Viper.
No, it was a concept car that was done down in Carlsbad at the Pacifica Design Studios, and what they were trying to do was get that rear-wheel drive proportion and get the front wheels to the extreme front, and I just don't think it was a happy design. I don't like I never liked it. I never understood what these things were supposed to be or why they're there. I think the whole front end, it was just for a while those guys were in love with this theme of where the front end just wraps over the front wheels.
Fell off,
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm glad we never did anything with it.
Well, we kept it. Sometimes the cars are important for what they're not.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this was one of the Brooks Stevens designs, wasn't it? Yeah.
This
based on a Chrysler.
Yeah, this is Chrysler. It was 65 Imperial that was modified by Dean Jeffries to be the Black Beauty for Green Hornet.
Oh yeah, I remember. I saw it at the Detroit show. Another grotesque abortion. And what was this?
That's called a Cobra. It's a 1955, but it has nothing to do with Shelby. It was built by a couple of brothers here in Los Angeles.
Yes.
They built a pair of them, one for each other.
Thank you. 2 was more than enough. There's another one that somebody should have
XR6.
Stopped the design before he did real harm. What is this odd thing?
Oh, this is a Kia. We have a number of Kias here. It's part of a special promotion.
It's a current Kia Batmobile.
Yeah, it's modern. It's modern. It's a kind of a superhero.
These are always nice. These
little midgets, and we've got a little juvenile car. This is the last Barchetta ever built, 1952. This was given to Henry Ford by Enzo Ferrari. We think it might be the first left-hand drive Ferrari, and certainly one of the only Ferraris with white wall tires. But this is original paint. The interior was updated a little bit, but the engine's never been out or apart. It's completely original. It has about 12,000 miles on it.
I wonder about the proportion, though. Look at the wheelbase, how long the car is in the back.
It's a little long. It's uncomfortably long.
Yes, you're right.
The idea was to have an extra seat behind the main compartment the side-facing seat.
Well, this is another example of where less is more.
Well, here's a perfect example. This is a 47 Cisitalia.
I know. Well, this,
47 olds.
You talk about a trend-setting design. When the Cisitalias hit both the Roadsters and the Coupe, everybody around the world, I mean, Bill Mitchell, Harley Earl,
yep.
Everybody said, holy mackerel.
That set designers on a new course.
Yeah,
that car was, it's like somebody shrunk wrapped the body around the chassis.
Why no portholes in the side?
Because the early ones didn't have portholes.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
That's a very early, that's the first year.
Oh, is this a Davis?
You got it.
Yeah.
Boy,
that is super rare. And of course a Tucker.
A Tucker, same year. Both failures, but both interesting in their own way.
Oh, and this was the one that the guys, the Zeter.
Yeah.
The guy's father was chief engineer at
right.
And then we have a Fisker Karma.
We have a Fisker Karma.
You can't have it, Bob.
Yeah, well, Gilbert and I are willing to pay $10,000 each for these, convert them into.
Well, we do need to raise some money, so $12,500 is yours.
Yeah.
This is the car from Greece. It's the one that John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John drove in.
It's in such good taste.
Yeah, and the fins especially. The fins, it's very demure. You can hardly notice it.
Whatever happened to good taste? Now this is similar to the arrangement that we'll see in autonomous cars, except with the bench seat turned the other way and no steering wheel.
Yeah, I hear that's supposed to be safer. And I want to point out the MP Sportster. That's one of the very few cars actually built in Los Angeles. That was built in Riverside. It's very rare for those to survive because most of them were eaten up by the sand.
I normally don't like vinyl roofs, but on this 41 Cadillac, it really works.
Well, this is the only three-window 41 Cadillac, and it was modified by Hillcrest Motors. They chopped the top, they raked the windshield, they put padding on the top, and they de-chromed it. And that's all of those things customizers were doing after the war.
Yeah.
They were kind of leading the charge. That was for Clark Gable, by the way. This is the very first winner of the American Most Beautiful Roadster Trophy back in 1950 at the first Roadster show. Pretty important car. Here's another winner. That's another winner. We kind of walked by that one.
This is very nice. This is kind of reminiscent of some of the stuff that Chip Foose did.
Well, you're exactly right. He did this car. Chris actually designed the interior for this car.
Right.
It's the modern interpretation. And like you can see the march of time by looking at the car and see how the public taste evolved. And it's interesting that we're back here on the way out because you can see Ford had this car in the studio when they were designing that car.
Yeah.
They had this car next to an MG, next to a styling buck of the Thunderbird, and some people think that this car inspired some of the design details, like the routing of the exhaust, the round tail lights, and some of those things.
Maybe.
It's hard to say.
There's just too much here. There's like about 2 feet too much.
You're right.
Here.
The wheels arch should start right behind the passenger seat.
Yeah.
The idea originally, and I've seen the plans, it was to have the cockpit go all the way almost to the top and have a side-facing seat.
It still would have been awkward looking, but at least it would have been awkward looking for a reason. Where's Miss T going?
I just want to point out that the car guy wants to leave, the car girl wants to stay.
What's she taking a picture
Sounds
of?
like Pope Mobile. We have one of Pope John Paul II's cars.
Bob, you found it.
She's not even Catholic. Speaking of that, did you hear the one about the Catholic couple is about to get married and outside the church they get hit by a car and they're dead and they go up to heaven and St. Peter says, well, you were about to get married. They said, well, can we get married in heaven? And St. Peter says, well, let me check. So leaves them sitting on a bench for 3 weeks. And he finally comes back and he's all worn out and he says, yeah, you can get married in heaven. And they said, well, we were just thinking, as we were sitting, what if it doesn't work out? When we get married, could we get divorced in heaven? And St. Peter says, listen, it took me 3 weeks to find a priest in this place. Do you really think I'd be able to find a lawyer?
So click here to watch one of our 250 other episodes. Click here to subscribe. And can we ask you guys a favor? Can you watch these within the first 36 hours? Because it gets us more views, which gets us more dollars, which gets you more episodes. And of course, follow us, MotoManTV, all one word, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time.